fighter. The Lighthouse Nation resolutely dismantled its F-22 production lines. Later, upon realizing they had been deceived and facing mounting military pressure, they were forced to rebuild a new production line, which became today's F-35. Therefore, strictly speaking, the F-35 can only be considered a watered-down version of the F-22. The US can no longer produce the F-22, but the existing stockpile remains sufficient for their needs. What many people don't realize is that even the F-35 actually comes in multiple variants. There's the F-35A, the conventional takeoff and landing variant, the F-35B, a short takeoff and vertical landing stable variant, and the F-35C carrier-based variant. Additionally, they possess various formidable bombers, the most renowned being the B-2 Spirit, famously dubbed the Ghost. This remains the world's sole stealth strategic bomber, boasting exceptional stealth capabilities and formidable bombing power. Each B-2 bomber costs a staggering $2.4 billion, and the US Air Force operates a full fleet of 20. Not to mention, the Lighthouse Nation also possesses numerous other early warning aircraft, reconnaissance aircraft, armed helicopters, and electronic warfare aircraft. In short, if one were to list them all, it would take 3 days and 3 nights to finish. The sheer diversity of its systems. This prevents other nations, even those equipped with F-35s, from standing on equal footing with the Lighthouse Nation. The Lighthouse Nation can exert control with equal ease. This is their greatest advantage? After comprehending all this, Smith and Max simultaneously broke into knowing smiles. Next, all they needed was for Sandow to respond. Both men were utterly confident. The Kingdom of Yamen. Blake, the Minister of Intelligence, appeared before Jiang Yi for the first time in ages. At that moment, Black was briefing Jiang Yi on something. Another bet? Jiang Yi picked up the coffee on the table and took a small sip. Today, upon logging into the game, Jiang Yi had activated the descent function because he had received an email from Black in advance stating that there was important intelligence to report. Black respectfully replied, yes, Lighthouse Nation has not only sold F-35s to Sandstorm but also supplied a series of advanced naval, land, and air weapons. It cannot be ruled out that Sandstorm might be tempted. It seems the Lighthouse Nation is determined to keep fighting. Jiang Yi set down his coffee. He motioned for the lightly clad Dong Zhou beside him to step out, then turned to Black. What do you think about us placing a bet too? Black considered this carefully. His Majesty the King must have his reasons for this course of action. I support your decision. Jiang Yi smiled. Black was, after all, an intelligence operative. Beyond fulfilling his professional duties, his instinct was to follow his own judgment. So these topics really weren't suitable for discussion with him. He needed to find Charles. As a member of the national think tank, deliberating on matters of state policy was Charles's core responsibility. First, let's report on the current state of infiltration within the high-level echelons of various nations. It's been quite some time since we dispatched that large contingent of spies. It's been quite some time now. As Minister of Intelligence, Black would be aware of this. Report. Black began his detailed briefing. To date, we have successfully infiltrated the Pentagon's Joint Chiefs of Staff in the Lighthouse Nation. We now receive real-time intelligence on all major domestic conferences, including critical policy decisions. Regarding Ichiro, our operatives have gained the President's initial trust. Progress in the Footbasin Nation is slower, but we've established indirect channels for high-level intelligence. In Yisili, we've successfully penetrated their cabinet. Hearing Blake's explanation, Jiang Yi finally grasped just how formidable the intelligence operatives rewarded by the system truly were. Now, without even leaving his home, yet gain real-time access to the inner workings of every nation's leadership. All right, Black, you may leave now. Keep me updated on any developments in the nations. Yes, sir. After Black departed, Jiang Yi also rose and departed the palace. Shortly thereafter, he arrived at the news department and located the person in charge there. Your Majesty. The man bowed deeply in alarm upon recognizing Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi gave a slight nod, motioning for him to rise. No need to be nervous. I want you to announce this. At this defense exhibition, we will showcase the Yamen Kingdom's latest 6th-generation aircraft. Interested parties may submit purchase applications to the Yamen Kingdom. Upon approval, sales will proceed. The Lighthouse Nation was determined. They aimed to court Sandstorm. But it wasn't just them who could place bets. Jiang Yi could too. Moreover, the leverage Jiang Yi holds, not something the Lighthouse Nation could ever match. 5th-generation fighter? Jiang Yi directly presented something surpassing 5th-generation aircraft, 6th-generation aircraft. Let's see how Sandstorm chooses. As for defining 6th-generation aircraft, currently there is no universally accepted standard worldwide because no one has developed one yet. So whether it's an extreme 5th generation, the pinnacle of 5th generation, or a 6th-generation fighter, it's entirely up to Jiang Yi. Yes. This time, Jiang Yi intends to sell a batch of Caliban fighters. Ever since the Foaming fighters came into existence, the Caliban fighters have been gathering dust in storage, rarely used. Rather than letting them go to waste, it's better to showcase them globally at this defense exhibition. It's not just Sansi. Countries, including the Lighthouse Nation, will take a keen interest in the Caliban fighter. After all, the Caliban fighter has shot down the Lighthouse Nation's F-35s more than once. 6th-generation fighter for sale? The person in charge was clearly startled. This was major news. He hurriedly posted a new announcement on the official website as Jiang Yi had instructed. A few minutes later, the announcement was complete. Zhang Yi left the press release area with satisfaction and patiently awaited the international response. Chapter 234. The budget is limitless. Yemen Kingdom. To further promote national defense capabilities and bring peace to more nations, the Yemen Kingdom has decided to showcase its latest 6th-generation fighter jet at the defense exhibition. Selected technologies will be disclosed, and purchasing rights will be offered to interested countries. The defense exhibition became a global hot topic immediately after its announcement. It has garnered significant attention from high-level officials worldwide. Regarding this defense exhibition, opinions vary widely. All sorts of opinions have been voiced. Yet one point remains universally acknowledged. That is, the exhibition will undoubtedly showcase the technological prowess of the Kingdom of Yemen. Who knows? Maybe some groundbreaking black tech will be unveiled, stunning the world. That alone is enough to build anticipation. But who could have known? No one could have imagined that the Kingdom of Yemen's true trump card was yet to come. 6th-generation fighter jet? When those three words appeared, netizens worldwide and leaders across nations were left utterly dumbfounded. Could it be a mistake? But after rubbing their eyes and scrutinizing the text multiple times, they realized they hadn't. It was all real. The Kingdom of Yemen is actually preparing to unveil the world's most advanced and only 6th-generation fighter jet at next week's defense exhibition. Holy crap? 6th-generation fighter? Did I see that right? The Kingdom of Yemen just admitted they have a 6th-generation fighter? 666, the only country in the world with a 6th-generation fighter. Could it be that the dozens of F-35s sunk by the Lighthouse Nation during that battle with the Indians were actually the result of fighting against the Kingdom of Yemen? Is this for real? How could the Kingdom of Yemen possibly have one? Yeah, given the Kingdom of Yemen's technology, it's hard to imagine they could develop a 6th-generation fighter. The Lighthouse Nation spent decades overcoming technical hurdles to develop the 5th-generation F-35, the Dragon Nation did the same for the J-20, and Russia did for the Su-57 series. It's confirmed the Kingdom of Yemen really did stumble upon alien technology in the desert. The news struck like a thunderbolt. Netizens worldwide erupted in chaos, countless people finding it utterly unbelievable. The Kingdom of Yemen has never publicly acknowledged possessing 6th-generation aircraft. Yet external speculation about this has never ceased. The Kingdom's air combat aircraft were simply too advanced, making skepticism inevitable. However, prior to this, most people didn't actually believe the Kingdom of Yemen truly possessed 6th-generation fighters, dismissing it as rumor. The hype from outsiders was simply too outlandish. That's a 6th-generation fighter jet. Not some cheap cabbage. Even the French and the British Empire, two of the five great powers, couldn't develop them on their own. A kingdom like Yemen, established just a few months ago, even possessing a 5th-generation fighter is nothing short of astonishing. How could they possibly build a 6th-generation fighter that surpasses 5th-generation technology? Hence the prevailing theory. It's not that the Yemen Kingdom possesses a 6th-generation fighter, but rather an advanced variant with performance surpassing 5th-generation aircraft. It represents the pinnacle of 5th-generation technology. It falls far short of true 6th-generation standards. This time, however, the Kingdom of Yemen's announcement has swept away all rumors. They truly possess 6th-generation aircraft. As the global community erupted in shock, the hesitant Salman, upon receiving this news, leapt to his feet in astonishment. What? The teacup he held trembled in his hand from the sheer shock, causing it to clatter to the floor. The cup shattered into pieces, tea spilling onto the expensive carpet. Rashid held his phone, swiping through the screen for a moment before showing Salman the announcement released by the Kingdom of Yemen. After reading it, Salman felt a chill run down his spine. This. His lips trembled, and he couldn't utter a complete sentence for a long time. Rashid's face was beaming with uncontrollable joy. Mr. President, this is absolutely fantastic news. They say they'll partially disclose the technology at the defense exhibition and grant countries worldwide the right to purchase 6th-generation fighters. We absolutely must secure multiple orders then. With 6th-generation fighters in hand, their air force capabilities would be completely worry-free from then on. Let's put it this way. Qatar had money to burn. As long as the Kingdom of Yemen releases enough units, they'll buy whatever quantity is available. Forget East Continent, their air force would rank among the world's elite. And they wouldn't have to worry about the Lighthouse Nation's threats either. Their F-35s are formidable, their F-22s are formidable. But that's only before encountering 6th-generation fighters. Once they do, those F-35s and F-22s will turn into scrap metal in minutes. Remember the last clash with the Indians? Many F-35 wreckages from the Lighthouse Nation still lie at the bottom of the ocean, never to be salvaged. Indeed, we'll never have to kowtow to the Beacon Nation again. After regaining his composure, Salman, like Rashid, felt a surge of wild joy. Those scoundrels constantly threatened them. Even this collaboration. They threatened Sandia, trying to prevent her from attending the Yemeni defense exhibition. And just days ago, during a meeting, the Secretary of State of the Lighthouse Nation had explicitly stated that if Sandow failed to renew the oil agreement, then the Lighthouse Nation might take some extreme measures. Listen up. Is this even human speech? It was practically a blatant threat. Salman was furious inside, but what could he do? The military capabilities of the Sand State truly couldn't compare to those of the Lighthouse Nation. He could only swallow his anger. He resolved to carefully consider countermeasures over the next few days. Now, there was no need for deliberation. Once they acquire the 6th-generation aircraft from the Kingdom of Yemen, they might not surpass the Lighthouse Nation. That would be far too exaggerated. The lighthouse nations accumulated heritage and formidable strength over 2 centuries. Given San's national circumstances, surpassing it anytime soon is impossible. But self-defense? Absolutely no problem. Salman can disregard much of the lighthouse nation's intimidation. Inform the Kingdom of Yemen, we absolutely must attend this defense exhibition. Under Robert's persuasion, Salman's resolve wavered. But now he was utterly resolute, the defense exhibition must be attended. Not even Jesus could stop us. Salman swiftly convened an emergency meeting with all senior executives of Sandstone to discuss the matter. All the leaders were thrilled upon hearing the news. They unanimously expressed their support for Solomon's plan. Attending the defense exhibition was approved by an overwhelming unanimous vote. In matters of national importance like this, achieving unanimous agreement among all high-ranking officials when making major decisions is actually quite rare. Each held their own convictions for the nation's sake. This time, there was remarkably no opposition. However, I expect the 6th-generation fighter will be extremely costly. I wonder how much budget the president is prepared to allocate. A senior official raised his hand to pose a question. This question was also on everyone else's mind. Salman paused, taken aback. He hadn't actually considered it. He'd been so caught up in the excitement that he'd completely overlooked this crucial matter. Rashid proposed, after all, this is a 6th-generation fighter. Many nations covet it, so we must seize the initiative to gain the upper hand. Therefore, I believe our budget for this procurement plan should be unlimited. Chapter 235, Go All Out. At this remark, everyone present turned to stare at Rashid in astonishment. No budget? Rashid hastily clarified, what I mean is, the number of fighters the Kingdom of Yemen is releasing this time is absolutely limited. We must secure as many as possible at the very first opportunity. Otherwise, if other countries snatch them up, all our hopes will be dashed. Because these are 6th-generation fighters. Therefore, Rashid believed the Kingdom of Yemen couldn't sell them in unlimited quantities. Production capacity is an issue. So the quantities simply can't be large. And with so many nations worldwide, guess how many countries want 6th-generation fighters? The answer is, almost every country wants one. This creates a situation where there's not enough meat for all the wolves. In such a situation, who cares about the cost? Of course, they'll pour money into it relentlessly just to get their hands on it first. Singapore has practically nothing to offer. Except for one thing, they can't say they have no money. Only then did everyone grasp Rashid's meaning. So, the budget is unlimited. Go all out however you want. Any objections? Rashid glanced around the room. Everyone exchanged glances, but no one stepped forward to object. A tacit consensus formed. Very well, it's settled then. Seeing this, Salman said nothing further and immediately confirmed the decision. As the meeting concluded, Solomon's demeanor shifted dramatically, his once slumped energy lifted, and he appeared far more spirited. They say mood affects one's appearance. This saying now perfectly applied to Solomon. Your Majesty, representatives from Shashi have arrived, bearing congratulatory gifts. They've confirmed their participation in this defense exhibition. Inside the gym, Zhang Yi was using the available fitness equipment to conduct physical training. The presence of gene-enhancing agents made his training results twice as effective with half the effort. This transformed the already robust Zhang Yi into an even more formidable figure. His sharply defined muscles were as hard as iron blocks. While they couldn't quite withstand bullets, his current physical condition was such that even a world-class boxing champion's full power punch would feel like a mere tickle to Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi set down the dumbbells. He casually grabbed a towel to wipe the sweat from his body and addressed Maxon, who had come to report, go meet them. Tell them the Yi Men Kingdom is delighted they can attend. We hope this defense exhibition will foster harmonious coexistence between our two nations. Zhang Yi knew it. The news of the 6th-generation fighter jet's unveiling would undoubtedly make Sandia the first to show interest. Sure enough, he couldn't contain his excitement and sent people over immediately. But compared to this, Zhang Yi knew full well that the Lighthouse Nation must be fuming with rage at this very moment. The White House. A man in a crisp suit strode through the main entrance, heading straight for Obama's office. Behind him followed 2 figures resembling secretaries. All 3 moved with urgency. This man was none other than Mark, the chief of staff of the Lighthouse Nation. Announced by the Kingdom of Yemen. Mark had made a special trip from the Pentagon early that morning. Soon, Mark arrived at Obama's office. Inside the office, besides Obama, Smith, Mons, and other high-ranking officials were all present. Is the information confirmed? Mark entered, set down his belongings, and urgently inquired. The idea of the Yemen Kingdom selling 6th-generation aircraft seemed utterly implausible to him. Could there be a mistake somewhere? But that was the reality. No, the news came from their official department, it couldn't be fake. Obama's tone was grave. Mark was completely stunned. Has the Kingdom of Yemen lost its mind? Selling their 6th-generation fighter? Just the day before, everyone had been convinced the Yemen Kingdom would never do such a thing. Selling 6th-generation fighters. It would only allow other nations' air forces to make up for their deficiencies. It would erase the Kingdom of Yemen's technological edge in this field. After all, with 6th-generation fighters in their arsenal, Yemen's lead would be erased outright. Unless they possess methods to remotely control 6th-generation aircraft even after sale. But that's only one aspect. Even so, other nations would still desperately seek to acquire 6th-generation aircraft. What for? For research, of course. Doesn't the Kingdom of Yeoman worry that other nations might reverse engineer the core technologies of its 6th-generation aircraft? Don't underestimate the R&D capabilities of other nations, especially the Dragon Nation. From industrial backwardness to global leadership, becoming the world's second-largest economy and largest industrial nation. They achieved this in just a few short decades. Then there's the Lighthouse Nation. The world's technological leader, a pioneer at the forefront of modern science and technology. The Kingdom of Yeoman truly has nothing to fear. They studied the Kingdom of Yeoman's 6th-generation aircraft technology and developed their own 6th-generation aircraft? Mons sat by the window. Sunlight streamed in through the window, illuminating his receding hairline. His expression turned stern as he declared, "All that is secondary now. The urgent matter is figuring out how to handle the situation with Sandstorm." His words jolted them into realization. Mark and some of the others present finally remembered. The nation most impacted by the Yeoman Kingdom's announcement was actually them. They had planned to use high-tech weapons, the F-35, to win over Sandia. Now that the Kingdom of Yeoman was selling 6th-generation fighters, it was obvious. Sashin would surely abandon the Lighthouse Nation and throw its support behind the Yeoman Kingdom. Smith angrily lit his cigar. A puff filled the office with smoke. Normally, Oba would give him a piece of his mind. But now, he couldn't be bothered. He was in turmoil himself, tempted to light one up too. Smith exhaled a puff of smoke, his expression grave. They're clearly working against us, trying to dismantle our oil dollar system. We absolutely cannot let them succeed. Even a fool could see what the Kingdom of Yemen was up to. Yeah. Obama looked at Smith. But what exactly are we supposed to do? If we go head-to-head, they can't match us. Using force risks escalating into nuclear war. Playing dirty tricks and open schemes. They're no match for the Kingdom of Yemen either. Unbeknownst to them, the Yemen Kingdom is like an invisible giant hand, gripping the throat of the Lighthouse Nation, leaving them gasping for air. Smith hesitated, words caught in his throat. But after careful thought, he swallowed them back. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as an idea struck him. Right, when does their defense exhibition begin? And what about that matter I mentioned last night, President Obama? They initially said it was a week away, leaving 5.5 days from now. Obama replied. As for the matter Smith mentioned last night, Obama slapped his thigh, nearly forgetting something so crucial. He added, I've already had the CIA look into it. Chapter 236, the defense exhibition begins. The investigation Obama mentioned. The investigation Obama mentioned. After their secret negotiations with Sandia were leaked last time. Initially, everyone assumed a spy had been planted within Sanda's organization. That's why the information got out. But after much deliberation, Smith still believed it was prudent to investigate within the Lighthouse organization. Obama agreed it made sense, so he had the CIA launch an internal investigation. Any irregularities could then be addressed promptly. Just because they call it a 6th-generation fighter, does that make it one? Just then, Mons suddenly spoke with a cold expression. Gentlemen, I believe we've fallen into a cognitive trap. Oh? What do you mean? Everyone turned to Mons with curiosity. Mons placed his hands on the table and began to articulate his thoughts. Regarding 6th-generation fighters, there is no universally accepted international standard. No country has ever published official specifications on the matter. So whether it qualifies as a 6th-generation fighter is merely a matter of the Kingdom of Yemen declaring it so. I admit their fighter is indeed impressive, but why did we lose? It's highly likely due to our lack of understanding of their aircraft and our overconfidence. In my view, when truly compared, their fighter may not be significantly superior to our F-35. He finished speaking. Everyone felt there was some truth to his words. Yet it didn't seem entirely convincing. Because telling this to them wouldn't accomplish much. It needed to be heard by the entire world. Mark, however, had a sudden epiphany. A brilliant idea flashed through his mind. President Obama, if I recall correctly, our 6th-generation fighter is still in the development phase, right? Yes, why? Since the first flight of the Lighthouse Nation's first 5th-generation fighter in 1997. It's been a decade or two since then. In all that time, to maintain global hegemony, the Lighthouse Nation has never ceased its R&D efforts on 6th-generation aircraft. However, compared to 5th-generation fighters, 6th-generation aircraft present an extremely high level of difficulty. Achieving this goal is no simple feat. This has resulted in minimal progress in this area over the years. For instance, according to their conceptual design, a 6th-generation fighter should possess at least the following capabilities. The most fundamental requirement is full-spectrum stealth. Compared to 5th-generation aircraft, whose stealth capabilities primarily target common radar detection frequencies, the 6th-generation aircraft must achieve stealth across a broader spectrum of electromagnetic waves, including millimeter waves, centimeter waves, and decimeter waves. It must also feature superior infrared stealth. This means reducing the aircraft's infrared signature. Additionally, they must incorporate more advanced sensor systems, robust data processing and fusion capabilities, ultra-long detection ranges, exceptional maneuverability, supercruise capability, high subsonic cruise efficiency, advanced weapon systems, powerful electronic warfare capabilities, electronic attack capabilities, electronic protection capabilities, high levels of information integration and collaborative combat capabilities, a robust airframe structure, and advanced self-repair technology, among other features. Take any single one of these. Each represents a formidable technical challenge that humanity has yet to overcome. Over the years, Only in areas like sensor systems, electronic protection, and multi-weapon carriage have they achieved modest breakthroughs. The development of a true 6th-generation fighter remains at least several years away. Mark flashed a sinister grin. Never mind that, he said. Given the situation, we might as well announce to the world that we've successfully developed a 6th-generation fighter. Everyone turned to look at Mark. Their expressions were filled with shock. Mark, however, remained unconcerned. The entire world's attention is now focused on the human kingdom. We can't just sit idly by and wait for disaster. If they can call their 5th-generation fighter a 6th-generation fighter, why can't we? His reasoning was straightforward. Whether they actually possess 6th-generation aircraft or not, we must push this hype forward. While stunning the world, we must divert attention away from the defense exhibition hosted by the Kingdom of Yemen and toward the Lighthouse Nation, thus indirectly diminishing the defense exhibition's influence. Isn't the Kingdom of Yemen supposed to be selling their so-called 6th-generation aircraft? The Lighthouse Nation could announce similar news and offer even greater incentives. This could throw nations that were previously set on purchasing the Kingdom of Yemen's 6th-generation aircraft into a dilemma. After all, the Lighthouse Nation's prestige is still considerable. After all, do you think 2 centuries of global dominance came for nothing? Regardless, they intend to disrupt the Kingdom of Yemen's defense exhibition, maximizing their losses as much as possible. And once Sands gets wind of this, what would his reaction be? He'll be caught in a dilemma. Then we can send more people to brainwash Solomon, and getting Shoshan to choose us again isn't a pipe dream. After hearing Mark's plan, Obama and the others hesitated for a moment. After all, lies are lies, they carry the risk of being exposed. If exposed, it would be a complete embarrassment for the Lighthouse Nation. Alright, let's proceed this way for now. But at this point, Obama couldn't think of any more effective way to undermine the Yemen Kingdom's defense exhibition. He had no choice but to consider Mark's proposal. The defense exhibition was held inside a newly constructed skyscraper in the city center of Yemen. Over the next few days, Zhang Yi kept everyone busy, making all the necessary preparations for the defense exhibition. Simultaneously, participation requests from various nations began arriving. To Zhang Yi's surprise, the Lighthouse Nation had also submitted an application. Should we reject them? Black suggested. The Beacon Nation has done so many despicable things, and now they want to attend the defense exhibition? That's nothing short of a pipe dream. Let them come. Zhang Yi has his own ideas. I'll see what they can actually accomplish. The defense exhibition's publicity is global in scope. Zhang Yi's words carry weight, they can't be changed on a whim. Besides the Lighthouse Nation, it's a series of Eastern continent countries. Nearly every major player has applied. Countries like Aliankio, Diba, Qatari, Balan, and so on. These are the deep-pocketed players Zhang Yi's biggest potential clients, so of course he'd agree. Then there were the Korean Peninsula, the Triangle, the Foot Basin, the Baguette Nation, the Big Goose, and the Dragon Nation. Zhang Yi approved all their applications. Even those impoverished nations joining merely for the spectacle, unable to afford participation. Just to pad the numbers and liven things up. Otherwise, how would anyone know how popular the Yemen Kingdom's defense exhibition was? Time ticked away. By the day before the defense exhibition commenced, the defense equipment to be displayed by various nations at this event had already been delivered. The Kingdom of Yemen's own exhibits were also nearly ready. Oh, right. Many countries from distant regions had even dispatched personnel the day before to ensure timely participation in the defense exhibition. Zhang Yi attached great importance to this. Demonstrating the grandeur of a major power, representatives were dispatched to greet them. The countdown to the defense exhibition began. On the opening day, journalists from around the world packed the venue. This defense exhibition was grand in scale. Delegations from various countries, large and small, totaled over 400 attendees. This figure represents only the official guests. To maintain order at the venue, Zhang Yi alone deployed over 1,000 security personnel. Chapter 237, the defense exhibition just the appetizer. Such meticulous preparation stemmed from Zhang Yi's determination to ensure the defense exhibition proceeded flawlessly. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, Zhang Yi had poured considerable effort into this event. Beyond capturing the attention of major players like Sandow from East Continent, whether the exhibition could generate substantial profits, propelling the Yemen Kingdom's fiscal revenue beyond 1 trillion this year. It all hinged on this exhibition. Exhibition Hall. Alpha faced the sea of journalists below, waving his hand to calm the crowd. Everyone, please remain calm. I know you've all been eagerly anticipating this defense exhibition. However, to prevent any disturbances, I ask for your rational cooperation. Shortly, we will publicly unveil several advanced weapon systems. Journalists from all nations regardless of your origin are free to report on these developments. The Kingdom of Yemen will neither obstruct nor interfere. These words were specifically directed at the journalists. Primarily aimed at journalists from nations hostile to the Kingdom of Yemen. Journalists from the Football Nation, the Lighthouse Nation, or even the Italian-Swedish Republic. The Kingdom of Yemen is no insignificant nation. It possesses a broad and magnanimous spirit. It aims to demonstrate the Kingdom of Yemen's broad-mindedness. This defense exhibition is open to the entire world. Therefore, the Kingdom of Yemen will not exclude anyone and will treat all journalists fairly. These words genuinely touched the hearts of many journalists below. Look at this vision. It's truly different. General Alpha, you mentioned only partially opening up weapons technology to the public. Why not disclose everything? At that moment, a reporter voiced the question on everyone's mind. Everyone was hoping to witness the true cutting-edge technology of the Yaman Kingdom at this defense exhibition. Since some of these technologies are classified for internal use, we kindly ask for your understanding. Alpha responded. Basic weaponry can be disclosed. But the more advanced technologies are different. They're primarily intended for royal families and high-level officials. Only they possess such formidable purchasing power. 8:30 a.m. Representatives dispatched by various nations began arriving in succession. Maxon guided them through the defense exhibition procedures before escorting them to the venue. Jiang Yi had been waiting there for quite some time. Jiang Yi now wore a sleek black suit with a neatly knotted tie, radiating pure sophistication. Combined with his handsome features, he stood there, commanding attention as the absolute focal point of the crowd. Your Majesty, it is an honor to meet you here. Greetings, Your Majesty. It's been a long time. I'm truly delighted to see you again. Your Excellency is truly a rising star. The moment the various delegations caught sight of Jiang Yi, those with keen eyes immediately approached to curry favor. The Kingdom of Yaman has now achieved remarkable accomplishments in national strength, economy, and technology. They've achieved remarkable success in the global arena. Opportunities to curry favor with them are few and far between. Especially nations like those in the eastern continent who are more familiar with the Yaman Kingdom's strength. When they met Jiang Yi, their smiles practically split their faces. Their greatest fear was failing to secure Jiang Yi's favor. As for other nations, such as those in Feizhou, while less familiar with the Yaman Kingdom, they had heard of its formidable reputation. Thus, while they didn't go out of their way to curry favor, they held a deep sense of awe. They simply exchanged polite greetings and stood their ground, awaiting the next proceedings. As for the Lighthouse Nation, the Foot Basin Nation, and the Yisli Nation, they harbored grudges against the Kingdom of Yaman. Their position was awkward. They didn't want to appear overly enthusiastic. Yet they feared being overlooked and missing out on Jiang Yi's special favor. They feared all the benefits would be snatched up by that pack of sycophants from the eastern continent. They felt deeply resentful. Jiang Yi smiled faintly and said calmly, "Gentlemen, no need for formalities. All are welcome here. The Kingdom of Yaman welcomes all guests who have traveled far. Would you prefer to rest first, or would you like to take a tour?" The representative sent by Sandao this time is Dinocha, the biological son of Salman. A true member of the royal family. He is also the man most likely to inherit the throne of Salman in the future. Dinocha eagerly interjected, "We're not tired. Shall we tour the facilities first?" They'd been waiting impatiently for this defense exhibition. They had been waiting impatiently for this event. The night before departure, Dino and the other members of the Sandao royal family he brought with him were so excited they couldn't sleep a wink. All for the chance to witness cutting-edge military technology firsthand at the exhibition. Rest? Not a chance. The mere thought that this defense exhibition would elevate Sandao's national defense capabilities. Dinocha's mood could be summed up in one word. Impatient. Other major powers have also expressed eagerness to tour the facility as soon as possible. Clearly, they can't wait. Jiang Yi nodded. Very well, everyone. Follow me. Feel free to look around at modern. The group followed Jiang Yi's lead as they walked inside. The main venue for this defense exhibition was divided into 12 exhibition halls of varying sizes. Each hall displayed numerous weapons. Jiang Yi first led the delegation to the second hall, where display cases held various firearms. Jiang Yi casually picked up an assault rifle with a unique design, developed using composite materials. This model represented the latest firearm developed by System Superfactory. Its performance parameters surpassed popular assault rifles on the market by several tiers. Visiting, after all. Of course, we'd start small and work our way up step by step. You can't just start with the big gun showing them armored tanks, armed helicopters, or even fighter jets. Consider this an appetizer. This firearm, known as the C-59 assault rifle, has a caliber of 7.62 mm, an overall length of 950 mm, and weighs 42 kilograms. Its most impressive feature is its versatility. It can use standard magazines or unconventional drum magazines, achieving a rate of fire of 1,300 rounds per minute with an effective range of 1,200 meters. After rigorous testing by our team, it functions reliably in extreme environments including high temperatures, low temperatures, humidity, and dusty conditions. It achieves an average of 60,000 rounds fired without failure. To ensure the rifle's durability, we've put significant effort into the materials used, employing advanced composite materials that guarantee durability while keeping the weight within a reasonable range. Of course, what you're likely most interested in is this firearm's aiming system, equipped with an advanced optical sight. It integrates night vision, thermal imaging, and range-finding capabilities into one versatile unit. After hearing this, the representatives from various nations present gaped in astonishment. An unconventional magazine, a rate of fire of 1,300 rounds per minute. Are you sure this is a rifle and not a machine gun? For a standard rifle, an uninterrupted firing capacity of 20,000 rounds is already absurd enough. Yet this C-59 managed 60,000 rounds. What kind of monstrous performance would be required to achieve this? The crowd was first stunned, then their eyes lit up. Chapter 238, Stunning the International Delegates. Among all individual combat equipment, this firearm undoubtedly ranks among the absolute elite. No. To be precise, in terms of performance, no rifle currently on the market can compare to the C59, independently developed by the Kingdom of Yemen. Even legendary rifles like the AK-47, M16, and AR-15 series are utterly annihilated by the C59.